Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got the most dominant player in college football history. Let's check this out.
It was about a year ago this time when Auburn wasn't even really sure whether Cam Newton fit into their plans.
The winner is Cam Newton.
The winner won the Heisman.
Talking about a Heisman Trophy winner that has not thrown a single incomplete pass on the opening drive this season.
In the history of college football, you've had quarterbacks that had a dominant season. 2005, Vince Young, 2007, Tim Tebow, 2019, Joe Burrow, just to name a few. All those quarterbacks respectively had dominant seasons, but nobody had a more dominant season than Cam Newton's one season at Auburn. Before I start talking about that season for Cam Newton, I want to do a little backstory on him. Before Newton was at Auburn, he actually was at Florida, where he was Tim Tebow's backup. Of course, Newton rarely got to touch the field, as Tim Tebow was just a dominant quarterback, winning almost every award a quarterback could win in college.
He did end up being a bust in the NFL.
In 2007 and in 2008. But
damn!
Newton did get to play in a couple games in 2007 and in 2008.
Bro, let that QB do that to you is insane.
He got in trouble. At some point in October of 2008, it was reported that Cam Newton had stolen another student's laptop at Florida. It also was reported that when officers came to investigate Newton's dorm room, he tossed the laptop out of the window. Now, the charges that Cam Newton faced were dropped, and after that, he decided to transfer out of Florida. In today's age of college football, we're used to seeing players transfer out and go into another big program, but Cam decided to go the JUCO route. In January 2009, Newton enrolled at Blinn College. This was definitely an adjustment for Newton, as at the big universities, they give you all this free gear, whereas in JUCO, Cam Newton had to pay for his gloves and his cleats. Despite Cam Newton not being where he wanted to be at the time, he still decided to lace up his cleats and get out there on the field and ball out. In his only season at Blinn, Cam Newton would put up 2,800 passing yards and 22 passing touchdowns. To go along with that, he would rush for 655 rushing yards and 17 touchdowns. At the end of the season, Cam Newton would lead his team to an NJCAA championship. He also made the JUCO All-American team, but despite all his accomplishments and his great season at Blinn College, he still wasn't heavily recruited by Auburn. At the time, Auburn offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn said that Auburn wasn't in search for a quarterback, but they didn't go to Blinn College to go see a receiver. But when they got there to go watch Dexter Ransom, they noticed Cam.
Hey, he's got my first name.
Malzahn will also say that Auburn wasn't even looking for a quarterback, but Cam was just so good that they had to recruit him. The most impressive thing about Auburn getting Cam Newton is that they didn't really start recruiting him until a month before signing day. And of course, they did a good job, as he had the top 3, but of course he chose Auburn. All Cam had to do was win the quarterback battle, and it was smooth sailing from there on. Newton did just that, started the season, and he had a good first 2 games. Now, the first 2 games were against Arkansas State and Mississippi State, 2 teams that they probably should have beat. The week 3 game, though, was the real test of the season. In week 3, Auburn was set to face Clemson. This was a physical Clemson team led by Dabo Swinney. And this proved to be a great test early on for Auburn, as they faced a 17-0 deficit in the game. In the first half, Cam wasn't playing good, as he had an interception and he had no touchdowns, and he just struggled. In the second half, Cam would play a lot better, as he would have 2 touchdowns and he would lead Auburn to a comeback win. There was no time to celebrate for Cam at Auburn, as the following week they had to play number 12 South Carolina. Cam will continue to look superhuman against the Gamecocks, as he had a total of 334 yards and 5 touchdowns. After the Clemson and South Carolina games, Cam became America's sweetheart and became America's
sweetheart. It's crazy.
It made sense though, as he had one of the best smiles in the nation, was on one of the best teams in the nation, and he had one of the best comeback stories in the nation. Through the first 9 games of the season, Cam would have over 1,500 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. And he would have a combined 29 touchdowns at this time. And around week 9 is when some bad news started to come out about Cam Newton.
What happened?
Reported that someone on behalf of Cam Newton's family allegedly asked for money.
Around this time, Cam Newton started to get investigated by the NCAA.
Newton's family allegedly asked for money.
Around this time, Cam Newton started to get investigated by the NCAA because his dad accepted money from Mississippi State. So of course, people thought because he accepted money from Mississippi State and Cam didn't go to Mississippi State, Auburn had to pay Cam Newton's dad a lot more money for him to go to Auburn.
That's crazy.
Cam Newton was under investigation by the NCAA. He still was able to play for the rest of the season. Auburn and Cam will win a couple more games, as Cam will be dominant in those games. With Cam Newton and Auburn being dominant, this would set up a great Iron Bowl matchup. Early on, though, it looked not to be so much of a great game as Alabama jumped out to a 24-7 lead at halftime. Auburn was just getting dominated as it wasn't just Cam playing bad, the whole team was playing bad. But of course, when you got Cam Newton under center at Auburn, there's no need to worry. Newton would score 3 touchdowns in the second half, 1 rushing and 2 passing, and he would lead Auburn to a comeback win 28-27. To finish the game, Cam will have 216 passing yards and 4 total touchdowns. This win would set up another rematch against South Carolina, where Cam once again would dominate, having 6 touchdowns in this game. This win would punch Auburn's ticket to the national championship game against Oregon. Before the championship game, Cam Newton had to accept a couple awards like the Heisman Trophy, the Davy O'Brien, the Walter Camp, the Manning Award, and much more.
Damn.
In the national championship game, Cam didn't have the greatest games, but he did have 265 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. And Auburn will win the game after a Michael Dyer run would set up a field goal for the win. By the way, Oregon fans, Michael Dyer was not down. So in just his 1 year at Auburn, Cam Newton will win every major award that a quarterback can win in college football. And on top of all those awards, Cam Newton will lead Auburn to an SEC championship and a national championship win. Cam will end this season with 2,800 passing yards and 30 passing touchdowns. On the ground, he would accumulate over 1,400 yards and 20 touchdowns. To cap it off, only 7 players from this Tiger team got drafted to the NFL. To make that stat sound even crazier, since 2001, every national championship winning team has had at least 18 players drafted to the NFL. I believe Cam Newton had the most dominant season of any college football quarterback. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Hey man, another W vid by Just Jalen. Make sure y'all go check out his channel and shit. This dude is on the road to 1,000 subs, bro. Great guy. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on post notification, notified whenever I drop another banger video. We're on the road to 300 subs. I'm gonna get there for more banger content like this. And without further ado, I'm out. Gang!